This show is made possible by support from landsharks.ca. Visit them for all your coin and swag needs at www.landsharks.ca. And by viewers like you. Thank you for your donations.
Caching in the media, caching in water, caching in music. It's June 4th, 2011. This is Trackfiles. Hi there, and welcome to Trackfiles. I'm your host, Icenrai. Trackfiles is a video podcast featuring caching news, upcoming events, major milestones, YouTube videos, and podcast rewind. My website is trackfiles.tv. My email address is geoicenrai@icenrai.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Trackfiles, and if you're a fan of the show, make sure you sign up for the Trackfiles Facebook fan page. So, what's new? Well, have you missed the show? It's been a while since I put out an episode. It's been really busy over the last few weeks. Actually, a couple weeks ago, on a long weekend here in Canada, I started on some front yard renovation projects, and basically it's going to take the rest of the spring and a little bit of the summer to do it. It's just working a little bit of a time, but I'm really looking forward to what the house is going to look like when it's all said and done. And of course, being a photographer, I'm photographing the whole thing, and I have links to my website where you can go to my SmugMug site and see a nice little photographic story of how everything's coming along. And then last week here in the Prince George area, well, I was looking for a new cache mobile. My van I was driving was, it was starting to act up. It was time, and so I spent the weekend looking around, and I now have a brand spanking new cache mobile. Well, it's not brand new, but it's new to me. So today is June 4th. It's WWFM Day, so by the time you see this, your event will probably be over. Ours is actually coming up in a few hours itself, but hey, if it went well, send me an email, or better yet, even send me some video at geoicenrai@icenrai.com, and hopefully I'll get some video from our event coming up later this afternoon. Well, that's about enough small talk for now. Let's get into the meat of the show. Let's get in caching news. Caching news. First, we read in the Dotto Tech website a great article that they wrote about geocaching. And they go into it in a little bit of detail, and they actually have links to the geocaching website and the geocaching blog. And most importantly, they had an interview with Vancouver area cachers, the Wild Thingies. And folks, great interview, lots of fun to listen to. And as usual, check out my website, trackfiles.tv, for a link to the article and the podcast with the interview. So for our next news article, we visit with the Technorati website where they write DiveCaching, the new underwater treasure hunt game. We do a piece on geocaching, the fun, GPS-driven hunt for hidden treasure, the cache. Then the Diving Equipment Marketing Association launches a real-life, eco-friendly in-water game called DiveCaching, the underwater version of geocaching. They have a video on the sport, but it's pretty basic. Divers hide a treasure or cache underwater and post the GPS coordinates and compass directions on geocaching.com. Other divers get the coordinates from the site and dive to locate the cache. When they find it, they can photograph it and add their own treasure to the container, or just note the discovery. The finders log their visit and discovery on geocaching.com and share the experience with divers around the world. As Tom Ingram, Executive Director of DEMA, sees it, the sport is a perfect family outing, especially when combined with land-based geocaching and social activities for non-divers. He says that dive caching can be done anywhere, regardless of visibility or dive conditions, and is a great way to explore new destinations. Of course, you have to be a certified diver to participate. Well, folks, I can't even swim myself, but this sounds like a great idea, and I've heard a lot about these underwater caches, and if you know one, let me know, geoicenrai@icenrai.com, and I'll feature it in an upcoming episode of Trackfiles. So next we have a pair of TV reports. First we visit with WANE.com. Millions around the world explore communities through the game of geocaching. So folks, it's a TV report, and we're just going to roll the whole thing for your entertainment here on Trackfiles. So relax and enjoy.
Well, why take a regular walk or hike when you can go on a treasure hunt? That's the mentality behind a worldwide hobby called geocaching. Wondering what the heck that is? It's a high-tech hunt, and in this week's Drews to Do, I'm cashing in on the craze.
Our next one will be this one here.
Marty Thomas and his family aren't just out for a stroll.
16, 13,
They're geocachers, just a few of the more than 4 million around the world.
Geocaching is like a modern day treasure hunt, only the treasure you're looking for is usually Tupperware containers.
The treasures are called caches, and this is the map used to find them.
It's saying 32 this way.
Here's how it works. A geocacher hides an item big enough to hold a slip of paper or a notebook called a log, anywhere.
You can geocache anywhere. Anywhere in the world.
Then, using a GPS device, logs the coordinates and posts them online for the finding. Those ready to seek search out the listing online or through a smartphone app and hit the trail.
You get out, you're hiking, you're, getting exercise instead of sitting at home playing on the computer.
Geocaching isn't limited to the woods. Many can be found in urban areas and at any time.
On my break at work, on my way home from work.
Found it!
You found it? Oh, cool.
Good job, Michael.
Caches vary in size, from the very small, known as micros, to larger containers big enough to store the treasure's bounty.
We found stuffed toys in them before. We've found sometimes people put money. Maybe, $1.
Items left behind by past geocachers reward future finders.
So if you take something, you should put something back.
Our team left our mark with an electronics screen cleaner that has the News Channel 15 logo. That's going to be a hot item right there. You sign the log, then it's on to the next hunt.
Put it back where you found it.
There are more than 1.3 million caches around the world, offering simple, inexpensive entertainment.
At least geocaching gets people out, gets them doing things as a family.
Of course, the whole point of my to-do list is to encourage you to try the activities featured. So we've joined the fun here at Wayne TV. We've hidden our very own geocache, and it's up to you to find it.
So there you go, folks. Great TV report on geocaching. So next we visit with KERO in Bakersfield, California, where they have another great article on geocaching. So let's roll it, sit back, and enjoy.
As we continue our series this week, Destinations on a Dime, we have the story of a good old-fashioned treasure hunt with a high-tech twist.
That's right. It's called geocaching. And 23 ABC's Mike Hart now joins us live downtown with more on this family adventure. Mike?
That's right, Aaron and Jackie. Geocaching was created 11 years ago this month as basically during the birth of GPS technology, and it's a pretty high-tech game. We're at the corner of 20th and M Street downtown, outside the downtown elementary school, where my iPad has led us to this geocache location that you can see on the screen right here. Now, this location, the description of the geocache that was hidden here is fairly simple. It was put here last year on May 1st as part of the 10th anniversary celebration of geocaching here in Bakersfield. So the clue is the 10th anniversary. 10th anniversary. Jerry, let's see, 10th anniversary. Oh, yeah, okay. Let's see. Oh, behind the sign up here, what do we have? Oh, there's the geocache. Yeah, I'm here with my son Cody, and it took basically, about 30 seconds to find this one. We'll show you what's inside in just a minute. This was fairly easy to find, but there are a lot harder ones, wouldn't you say, Cody?
One's in the woods.
Yeah, ones in the woods was much harder, and they're everywhere, over on every continent from Antarctica to North America.
There is not a lot that is superior about this cache except for the name and its location.
It's right here, guys.
We're right on top of it.
Get it, Cody.
Bring a pen?
Let me see.
You want to bring a pen?
Here, open it up. Geocaching is everywhere, sometimes hiding in plain sight.
I get to trade for the next one, Michael.
It began as a way to test the accuracy of GPS technology by a computer consultant named Dave Ulmer in May of 2000. He called it the Great American GPS Stash Hunt.
Whoa, Cody, come here, hold this.
It has since become known as geocaching. We use 2 smartphones and an iPad. Calling up the map that uses your GPS location to pinpoint geocaches in the area, you then follow the trail that leads you to the treasure. Once you get within 100 feet of the location, the hunt is on.
Oh, boy.
Sometimes it's easy,
Oh, camera, San Diego Zoo.
while others require some thought.
Lion. Grab it, right there.
Each geocache comes with a description, GPS location, and a variety of other information that might include a hint and comments from other geocachers.
Let me trade it in.
Some are more difficult than others.
Sorry, I had a little container with me in a big area. Just had to hide it.
There are several along the Kern River near Allen Road. One called Nook and Cranny was described as a little container in a big area. We couldn't find it. Another showed its GPS location beyond a gate that read no trespassing. On this day, the 4 buckaroos were successful about 75% of the time, including one difficult cache. Inside the containers is a log to document your find and several small items. The rules state you can take something inside but must leave something behind.
Okay, it's on the right.
So mount up the troops, follow the signs, get dialed in, and you too can follow the GPS trail across Kern County and the world. All right, so what we've got here, go ahead, what do we have here in this one? What do you have?
A quarter and an 8 and some kind of blanket.
A red AIDS ribbon. We got a little fish here, and we have a logbook. Yeah, this is just one of the caches, and the great part about this is you can create your own cache on this website and hide it and put in all the different it's very easy to do, and that's why you're constantly going to see more and more of these pop up all over the place. It's one of the nice things about it. Now, of course, being a destination on a dime, it might cost you a small fortune in gasoline to drive around to some of these locations, but the best part about this is it could be within walking distance of where you live, and you don't even know it. Reporting downtown, in search of geocaches, Mike Hart, 23 ABC.
Well, that about wraps it up for news. Time for this episode's YouTube video. YouTube video time. And for this episode's video, we're going to go back to a letter that was written to me by one of the members of the Travel Bugs. He states, after 3 years of filming in multiple locations around the globe with an all-star cast and a budget of over $300 million, the latest music video by the Travel Bugs for their hit song, To Whom It May Concern, is complete. Well, after reading that, how can I not feature the Travel Bugs on Trackfiles? So ladies and gentlemen, To Whom It May Concern by the Travel Bugs on Trackfiles.
To whom it may concern, my name is Mugfred Leon Guy. I raise a few head of cattle out past the county line. I'm writing to you about some strange happenings. People been wandering round the fields out back. I've reason to believe we are under attack, and I thought you ought to know. See 'em out there all the time, way out beyond my property line. People come out the woods day and night, walking round in circles like they ain't right, shambling around like they're going nowhere, looking at the ground with a funny stare. They's a bunch of zombies, I swear, and I have to admit I'm a little scared, 'cause there's big uns, small uns, old uns, young uns, all size zombies, and they just keep coming. I think it's time that we did something, or it's just too late. So you know we gotta get ready, gotta make preparations for the impending zombie invasion. Just like the movies on my television, they'll be coming for my brain, I reckon. How many of them, who can tell? Can't hold them all off by myself. You boys have gotta send me some help. Sincerely, Mug L. Guy.
So there you go, folks. Just a short excerpt from To Whom It May Concern by the Travel Bugs. Make sure you visit my website, trackfiles.tv, for a link to visit the full-length video. So now that you're all excited about caching, let's find some events to go to. Time for this episode's Event Planner. Caching Event Planner. All these events are scheduled for next Saturday, June 11th, 2011. First we go to Australia, where we have the June Alternative, created by Adrian MC. From there we go to Florida for Meet-N-Greet with a Treat, hosted by Osmond69. Next we go to Idaho for Where Are You, Signal the Frog, hosted by the Bobbsey twins. From there we go to California for Canadian Girls Being Deported, hosted by Team Reed. From there we go up the coast to Oregon for the Swag Cache Container Construction and Swap Party, hosted by Swag. And then finally, we hit the Central Ontario Geocaching Spring Fling 007 Mega Event Cache, hosted by the Central Ontario Geocachers. There you go, folks, just some of the many events scheduled for next Saturday, June 11th, 2011. And as usual, if you like an upcoming event featured on Trackfiles, email me, geoicenride@icenride.com, and I'll place it in a future episode of Trackfiles. So now you got your vacation plan set, time for some great caching podcasts. In this episode's Podcast Rewind. Podcast Rewind, looking back at this past week in caching podcasts. First we start with Cashy Maniacs, where Daryl and Dre interview Topper Cat of Chicago. He dreams of caching in his wife's home of Tasmania. From there we go to the Geocaching podcast, where they have the June Cacher Coffee. Next we go to the Centennial State Geocaching podcast, where Art talks about a food from his younger days and how he fears it may never be as good as he remembers it. And finally we go to the Land Down Under for Geotalk, where they find Queensland's oldest geocache. There you go, folks. There's some of the many geocaching podcasts available out there. Make sure you download and listen to them. They make for some great entertainment and wonderful listening. Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of Trackfiles, but before I go, just a few notes. First off, mad props to Landsharks for the continuing support of the Trackfiles podcast. Make sure you visit them at landshark.ca for all your coin and swag needs. Also, big shout out to the financial contributors of the podcast. Folks, without your contributions, Trackfiles would not be possible. And if you'd like to donate, it's very easy. Visit my website, trackfiles.tv, and just look for the PayPal buttons on the right side menu bar. But in the meantime and in between time, that's it. Another episode of the Trackfiles podcast. I hope you enjoyed. So, until the next episode, cache on.